So, it's always been important to have an online presence for your business, right? I mean, that's pretty much a given for most people, but I know not everybody's done it. The fact of the matter is, times like these, right now, when I'm recording this, make it an absolute necessity for survival. Good news is, it's not that hard, and it doesn't have to cost a fortune. Matter of fact, with one small exception, it can all be done for free. So we're going to jump in and we're going to talk about that now. Get your favorite beverage, get a pen and paper, make some notes, or you can always rewatch the video, and let's get the party started. Okay, so it has absolutely always been important to have an online presence for your business. We've talked about that many times here, but times like these is when it is absolutely it's an absolute necessity for survival. There's just no two ways about it. Good news is it's not hard. It doesn't have to cost a fortune, and there's really just a minimum of 3 things that you need to do. So you don't feel like you have to do all the things, right? If you do these 3 things, you'll be in a much better position to either get through this current thing that we're going through when I'm recording this, or the future ones that will come, because something else will always come along. So here's some examples, right? What am I talking about? So I'm talking about things like snowstorms, blizzards, not the ones from Dairy Queen. They're just simply delicious. Hurricanes, floods. Hurricanes actually could be the drink from New Orleans, but that's also not what I'm talking about. I'm talking about the weather event. Floods, illnesses, pandemics, like we're going through now when I'm actually recording this. Periods of civil unrest, fire, right? Construction mishaps can do it to us, right? Utility lines get cut, cranes fall, buildings become unstable because of mistakes or misinterpretation of instructions. There are just general delays, like if you're doing updates to your building. We can't control these things, right? And that's why everybody gets freaked out, and that's why everybody starts to panic. But the thing is, we can control our response across the board, but most importantly, we can control our business response, right? And the trick here is just about having the right tools in place ahead of time. But if you don't have them ahead of time and you're watching this while the pandemic's going on, you could do this today. You could do this tonight, whenever you're watching this. But the point is to have the tools in place, or get them in place now, and have your plan B. If you're like me, your plan B, your plan C, your plan D, your plan E. You get the idea, right? So that's what we're going to talk about. We're going to jump in on those here now. Forgive me, Mr. Murphy is a little needy today. You'd think he knows what's going on, but I think he just picked today to be needy. All right, actually, before I get started with that, for those of you who are new here, my name is Kathleen, and I'm your tech coach, which is right there. And the point is that technology is my day gig. It's also my hobby. I'm the person that everybody at work, my friends, my family, my neighbors all come to when they have a question, and it's even gone beyond them through word of mouth. So I know not everybody has somebody that they can talk to, ask questions, so that's what I do here. I'm here every Thursday night, 8 p.m. Eastern Time on YouTube, Facebook, and Mixer. Feel free to go ahead, jump in the chat, let me know what your questions are, your concerns, if you have questions about stuff or you're looking for me to cover a topic. Also, you can go ahead and put comments, after, like if you're watching this afterwards, if you're not watching it live, because I do keep an eye on those, and I will come back and I will answer those too. All right, let's get into this. We need that. And then we need that. Okay, let's move that forward. So first and foremost, get a website. Okay, we have talked about this before. And matter of fact, I've put the links to the other shows in the comments for Facebook and for YouTube. And for my friends over on Mixer, I'm going to put those in the comments right now. There you go. Okay, so all you need at the basic, right, is a one-page website. Frankly, many businesses survive completely with just a one-page website. This does not have to be a big deal, okay? It's just, you need to have a web presence. You need to have some place that you can point people to. You need to have some place that is yours and under your control, okay? The good news is you can do this for free, or you can pay for it if you want more functionality. The only thing that you absolutely should pay for, if you want to go completely free with all these tips, that's fine. There is one thing you need to pay for, and that runs about $10 to $20 a year, and that is a domain name. Because you don't want to have some weird combination of letters and words and whatever else the free service is going to give you. You want to be able to send somebody to something that you can easily tell them that they will easily comprehend and be able to find. Also, having your own domain name makes it a little easier for the search engines to find you. He is plowing through his streets tonight. So you do want to do that, and it's not hard. There's a bunch of different ways to do it. So that is the one thing out of everything I'm going to tell you tonight. That's the one thing where you do need to spend $20 tops. So keep that in mind. If you want to do a free website, you could do something like Blogger. So let me show you what that looks like. One sec. Come on. There we go. Go back here. Actually, let's go back here. That's even better. Nope, we do need to do it this way. Okay. I'm going to put the captions over it just for the folks that need that. So this is Blogger. It's a very simple website. You just go to blogger.com. If you don't already have an account, you can create one. It's super simple. And you're just going to go in and, you know, they've got different layouts for you to do. Let's see, can I do a new... Oh, they've got a new Blogger. Hey, let's go check that out. I haven't seen that. Let's see. Ooh, that's much nicer. Okay, so, you know, there's different layouts. You can get different themes, which are sort of like pre-defined, you know, look and feel kind of stuff. And you can just go in and select those. You look like really nice ones now. Right? So you could just pick a theme, put in your own picture, or remove the pictures they've got and don't use any pictures. That's up to you. Put in a little text. Identify your business name. Maybe put your name if you want to. Short description on what your business is and how they can get in touch with you. I mean, literally, if that's all you do, you're still way ahead of the game. So you want to go and do that. So this is definitely a solution. You see, they've really upped their game. There's all kinds of stuff. And this Blogger is free. Absolutely free. Now, you will have to do a little bit of stuff in order to connect a domain name that you buy to it. Let me actually, before I say that, let me say, can you buy domain names here yet? Doesn't look like it. Okay, so if you'll have to go to like GoDaddy or one of the other many different companies that sell domain names. If you do a search for it, you'll find a bunch. And to connect it to this, because it's free, right? So there is going to be a little bit of work. The good news is, whoever you buy the domain name from, or if you do a search for how do I connect my domain to Blogger, you will find all kinds of helpful information on that. So that's the only little bit of maybe techie that you might need. And I'm going to explain in a minute a way that you can avoid that completely for just a little bit more money. So you just go in, you do this. It's literally like working in like a word processor, right? So you're going to go, you pick one of these templates. It'll install it. You can go in, select your pages, and just start typing. It's really quite simple. It's not a big deal. Because I have this, I would be building a new one. So here, we'll create a new page. Okay, so literally, if you know HTML, you can select that. But if you don't, you can just sit here and you can just type, you know, the traditional is hello world for your first post, right? And you can, you know, put bold and italics and all that kind of stuff. The point is, it's, oh wait, I'm not even showing this to you. Hang on, duh. One sec. There we go. So it's literally just as easy. And since I don't think I showed you the templates, let me go back to the templates. Come on. Themes. They call them themes here. Okay, but if you take a look, right, there's a whole bunch of really nice looking templates to pick from. So you just pick whichever one you like. If you like the color, you like the layout, whatever resonates with you, go with it. And then you just click on it, you say add a page, and you just start typing. It is really that simple. So you don't have to stress over that. Oops, I do want this up there. So the other thing that you can do is you can go to something like Squarespace. Now, actually, let me just jump back here for a second, because I want to make it clear that while I am recommending particular sites and services and that type of thing, this is not sponsored, okay? These are just things I recommend because I have used them. I've had clients use them successfully, so that is why I'm recommending them. I just want to be clear, you know, about that up front. This is not about me looking to make money off of referrals or anything. This is just me trying to get you where you need to be as quickly and easily as possible. We good? Okay, so let me go back and bring that back up. Okay, so as you can see, I have a bunch of them, but to get started, you just literally come here and you say, you know, create a site. You can refine it by, you know, whatever you want to see. So let's say interior design. Let's see what they recommend for that. You can also just skip this if you want to just go in. You know what, we're just going to skip it. Skip. Okay? So again, tons and tons of different layouts that you can just take and use. You're going to want to use your own photos or remove the ones that they've got there, but then it becomes just a matter of starting to type, put in the basic information, and you can do this with one page. Now, the reason I recommend Squarespace to so many people is because, frankly, I have seen so many people become very comfortable, very successful with it right out of the right out of the gate. It's great. There is a cost for it, but it's not super expensive. I think the last time I looked, it was like $18. I always have to look for pricing. Hang on. I think it's like $18 a month for a business account, and I'm going to tell you in a minute why you're going to want to at least consider the business account. Pricing. I'd like to make sure. Yeah, okay, so I'm right. It's $18 a month. If you pay annually, that is $96. So under $100 a year, you can have a business account. It's your basic business account. And, we are businesses, so we should pay the business rate. If you don't want to, or if you're just looking to build a personal site, that's $12 a month, which is $48 a year. So, super easy, super simple, lots of layouts to choose from. It is very easy to get comfortable with. The other benefit of this is you can buy your domain name through the Squarespace site, and that automatically connects it for you. So you can skip that step that I mentioned with Blogger, where you would have to manually connect your domain name to your site so that the two become one, and when people type it in, they land in the right place. When you buy your domain through Squarespace, you're skipping that whole step. And sometimes, you pay attention, sometimes they'll actually include, let me see if they're doing that now. Yes, you're getting a free custom domain. So you're actually going to save that $10 to $20 amount. They also offer unlimited bandwidth, unlimited storage at Squarespace. It is really an amazing thing. The other reason I'm suggesting that is because it's something we're going to talk later, but I'll give you a little preview. They make it really easy to do e-commerce. So that does cost a little bit more a month. You have to move up to, I'm sorry, so I was reading this wrong. So that sounded low to me. $18 a month, you're saving $96 a year if you pay for the year. Okay, you'll figure that when you look at the site. You can go to the e-commerce level, which gives you a fully functioning e-commerce store, right? Online store, including payments and all that kind of stuff. All that's left to you do is do the fulfillment. It is a little bit more. It's $26 a month, but again, it's all about getting up fast, making it all available. Now, you don't have to have that. You can stick with just the regular business one. And the other benefit is, if you start with the basic business account, you can always upgrade to the e-commerce later. So you don't have to stress over it. So just start with whatever level you're comfortable with. Get it out there. I love Squarespace. You can buy your domain. Well, actually, you'll get the domain for free for the first year, and then after that, you would just pay for it. But all those connection points are already there because you bought it inside of their ecosystem. So that all works out really nice for you. The other benefit to doing something like Squarespace is you automatically get something that is mobile friendly, which is very important for your users, right? Your customers, your potential customers, because maybe whatever situation they're in, this is all they've got. So the fact that your site automatically works really nicely for them on this is a big win. It establishes sort of like trust and a certain level of professionalism right away before you've even talked to them. Because, hey, look, your site works so well. I mean, you clearly know what you're doing, right? And you don't necessarily have to, because Squarespace is taking care of it for you. But you're putting your best foot forward that way, which is, of course, super important, right? You want to start off your relationship with your customers and your potential customers the best way you can, and then build on that goodwill. So that's a good thing. It also is pretty good on the accessibility side of things. So you don't have to worry about getting pinged on that kind of thing, too. Is there anything else I want to cover on that? I think that covers it. Okay, so that is basically what I'm recommending. One of those. If you want to go free, go with Blogger. If you've got a little bit of money and you can afford $18 a month, that will then make your domain free for the first year, and you'll get a lot more functionality out of it. It's also a lot faster. It's a lot easier to get set up. So we have that. Let me go back to my slides. Hey, Stuart, how you doing? How's Mixer life? All right, let me go back to what I was doing here. There we go. Okay, so if nothing else, just go ahead, get that website, one page. Don't overwhelm yourself. Just get that one page up there so that you've got a website you can start to point people to. Now, some people are going to say, nah, I don't want a website. I do everything on Facebook. I hear you. I understand what you're thinking. Two things that you need to keep in mind. First of all, you don't own Facebook. So if Facebook decides to change their way they do things, they decide they don't like your business, decide they don't like you for whatever reason, they can lock you down, lock everybody out of your stuff, and you have no control over it. You also can't go back in and get your stuff out of there, right? Now, that doesn't mean that you shouldn't have a Facebook presence. You absolutely should, because there are a lot of people who live inside the Facebook ecosystem. My point is, by having a website is something that you control, right? You can put whatever you want up there. You can point people to it. It becomes your central point in the universe, right? So if you're a fan of the Big Bang Theory, we're talking about, Sheldon's spot on the couch, okay? That is your website. That is your one consistent point in the universe that you can always point people to, regardless of whatever else is going on. If Facebook is up or down, or they've kicked you out for some reason, or they've kicked your customer out for some reason, they've always got a place to go and get in touch with you and find your other points of contact on the internet from that point. Stuart, your pip is so much better. Oh, thank you. I've been playing with it. So yes, thank you. I appreciate that. So first and foremost, that's what you've got to do. Next up, get yourself on social media. If you're not already on social media, you need to pick one, okay? If you like photographs, if your business sort of lends itself to photography, Pinterest, Instagram are a good place to start. If you're a text kind of person and you like, sharing articles and that kind of stuff, then maybe you want to go with something like Twitter. I said Instagram, right? Facebook. Okay, so whatever one you like to use, it doesn't really matter. If you want to be on LinkedIn, if you want to be wherever, the point is to have a social presence. If you already have one, make sure you're using it. Make sure that when you get your one page or more website set up, that you tell everybody that it's there. Make sure you put it in your profile. Make sure on any socials that you set up, on any account you set up, you always now start to put your website once you've got that. Because again, these two will feed each other back and forth. And the point is, you should always point people back to your website. And then from the website, you can send them wherever you want. But that way they know that if they, for some reason, can't find you on their favorite social media platform of choice or on Facebook or wherever else, they know they can go to your website. So always make sure that your website is up to date. It has all of your social, all your contact information on it. And then make sure that all of the other accounts for everything else you set up, if you're a TikTok person, whatever, make sure that has your website, if nothing else, on it. Okay? This is also, by the way, a great way to stay in touch. It also, because of the nature of social media, will make it easier for people to share the information about you or the information that you share. So that becomes very important. We'll take a little break here for a moment, because I do want to remind you that if you need help with any of this, you can always reach out to me at yourtechcoach.net. There's a contact form there. So if you are confused about how to pick a domain name, or if you're having trouble coming up with one, if you're confused about whether or not Blogger or Squarespace is better, whatever questions you have, you can reach out to me there. My whole point is, with everything that's going on, whether you have ever dealt with online stuff or not, this is the time to make the most of it. Ramp it up. Make sure you're communicating with your audience, right? Keep them informed. Let them know what's going on. Let them know where you're at. Let them know what alternatives they have in order to continue to do business with you. Because I don't know about you, but I know I can't sit around for a month or 2 months or 3 months and not have any income, right? I can't leave my customers hanging. I can't leave my business out there and just hope that it's going to survive, right? We have to be proactive about this. We have to be creative about it. And the best way to do that are these 3 steps that I'm telling you. So actually, it went to 4 steps, and I think about it. Last minute, I had another thought. Okay, let's keep going. So this is the time, if there ever was a time in the universe, this is the time to be live streaming. Please, see, this is working. I'm here, you're here. And or do video posts. This is a more natural way to communicate, first of all. I know it can be intimidating for people. I know we all hate the way we look, the way we sound, all that kind of stuff. Here's the trick. It's not about us, right? It's not about how we look. This is not a fashion show, right? This is not a beauty pageant. This is about connecting with other people. And this works for other people. This has been proven, right? This is why it's out there. This is why people are making the effort to do it, even though, frankly, I'm uncomfortable. I don't really, feel super comfortable sitting here this way. I'm much happier being backstage crew, but I know that this works. I also know that this has a farther reach because the search engines, things like Facebook, all those things, give more attention and more life to the postings that you do that are either live or start out live, or even just the videos that you posted and, and edited. Now, this does not have to be a complex, I planned it out for 6 months, I brought in a crew thing. This is literally, you can take your phone and do a story. You can take your phone and do a 2-minute, hey, I just wanted to check in, here's what's going on. Or, hey, if you need this, that, or the next thing, this is how we're going to help you out. It could be 2 minutes, okay? It could be 20 minutes. Whatever it takes for you to communicate that out, don't, again, overthink it. Don't feel like you can't do it until you have an editor, or you buy a better camera, or you get a better computer. No, this is just, you take what you've got. Whatever you've got is good enough for now. Get the message out there, and then if you want to improve it later on, great, go right ahead. But today, start doing this stuff. Let people know what you're doing with your business, how you're dealing with things, what you're thinking about trying. Get their opinion on it. Like, okay, if you've got a storefront, right, and people can't go out now, right, they can't go into your store, you need to think of alternatives, and we're going to talk about some of those in a minute, but you need to think of alternatives, ways that you can help your customers, and then you have to let them know about it, right? You can't come up with this great idea and hope that they're going to think of it too and contact you. You reach out, you tell them, you keep them informed. If you have it in you to be a little entertaining in the process, that's even better. But the point is that you want to get it out there. You want to keep them informed, engaged, and like I said, if you can do entertaining, then go for it. That's awesome. That is definitely a good way to go. So, live stream and or video posts. It is not as hard as you might think. Forgot that I moved the captions down here. I should probably put them up there next time. So, you just go with the flow. You have a conversation. If you are bothered by the idea of multiple eyes on you, just look at the camera and make believe it's your best friend. Make believe it's your dog, right? I talk to my dog all the time. So, as far as you know, right now I'm thinking I'm talking to the dog when I'm talking to you. I'm not now because I've been doing this for 2 years, but in the beginning, let me tell you, that's the kind of stuff that made it possible for me to go live. Right, Stuart? Stuart and I are in a group together, so I'm yanking his chain a little bit. He's streaming. I just think he could stream a little more, maybe. It's just an idea. Just an idea. Just floating it out there. Okay, so anyway. So, and if you're, okay, people are always about, content. I don't know what content I would do. I don't know what I would talk about, all that kind of stuff. Think about what questions your customers might have, or think about what kind of information that, you've got now for them because things have changed that you want to share, and do that. If that isn't enough for you, if you're still feeling stuck, I do have a free ebook. Go for it. It's no benefit to me, just provided it to you because I started to make a list for myself, because there are days when I'm like complete blank, I don't know what to talk about. So I started this list for myself, frankly, and then I mentioned it to somebody and they're like, hey, can I see that? So I'm like, yes, here you go. Everybody can see it. So go to yourtechcoach.net/content ideas. There's 130. So if you do one a week, you're still got over 2 years. So again, you'll be surprised how quickly you come up with the content. But in a time like this, when all the rules have changed and they're changing every day, you've got easy content to come up with, because maybe yesterday you could have customers in your store and today you can't. Maybe yesterday you could go to a customer site and today you're not allowed to because everybody's locked in their houses. But if you think about it, there's probably ways that you can help your audience, still serve your audience, still sell to your audience without the traditional patterns that you've been following. And we're going to talk about that in a minute more. So just do that. And again, here's a secret, okay? I'm going to just... One of the reasons I love live streaming so much and why I do it more than just regular posts is, frankly, because this is easier. Because when you're going to do an edited post, an edited video, there is this feeling, for me at least, that like, okay, well, I have to do it, and then maybe I have to do a couple of takes, and I have to put them together, and then I have to put like maybe music under it, or maybe an intro and an outro and all that kind of stuff. With live video, I sit down, I turn everything on, I do it, I turn it off, I walk away, it's done. Now, there is a benefit to it because I locally record these because I've got a bigger setup. So I can take those and then repurpose the lives, and turn them into, recorded videos. But most of the time I don't, because I just let the live go. So for what that's worth, Now, that said, if you do want to do a pre-recorded video, it still doesn't have to be like, that's in my head. Like, I have this hang up about if I'm going to push a video, it should be all of these things. I'm wrong, okay? Really what I should do is I should just go ahead and do the recorded videos and push them up when they're done. And I'm working on that. Join me, work with me on that. So just take your phone, talk to your people about whatever it is you want to talk about, show them whatever you want to show them with it, save it, push it up. Could be that simple. If you want to go the full, Monty and do all the editing on it, great. Do that with the recorded version of it, right? First get one out there, get the message out there, share your message, and then if you want to, polish it up and release it someplace else that way, that's great. But again, don't put barriers in your way. Right now, it's more important to get the message out there, keep updating the message, keeping people up to date with everything that you're doing, and then worry about, making it pretty later. Okay? All right. Stuart, you want to argue with me about any of that? I'm pretty sure we're pretty much on board, right? I think so. But you can jump in the comments and tell me. That's fine. I'm good. Okay, so this is the next one. This is the one that, frankly, could turn your business into even bigger, better things than it was before. Like, you could actually come out of this better and stronger than you went into it. While that, maybe is not a reason for us all to be going through this, hey, if we can do this, this is great. So here's the thing. And I've created a word here. So Stuart, in case you've noticed, I've taken upon myself in this time of stress and trouble to create a new word, okay? Because people are familiar with e-commerce. I've come up with e-service. Because as I'm talking to a lot of people, I'm hearing from a lot of service industry folks that they can't do things over the internet. And I beg to differ. Okay, so let's just talk about, if you have a store, if you have products that you sell, right? So, if you're selling this, or you're selling these, or you're selling this, or, heck, you're selling dog toys or treats. That's a physical item, and maybe you've never shipped your items before, but maybe you can now, right? I know, for example, of a diner that, of course, has been shut down because of all the rules right now, but they can still do, pickup and delivery. They've taken that to the next step, and things like their baked goods, things that have some, lifespan to them, they have figured out how to ship those. So now, instead of just serving the people who drive by or in their local area, they've now taken it to the next step, and they've opened up a whole new market that they, frankly, had never thought of before. But I think somebody suggested this to them. They're like, I love your muffins. Can people order them, and can you ship them? And they're like, actually, we could. And that's what they're doing. So it's a whole new business for them. It's a whole new expansion of things, which, feels a little easier, I guess, for people with the actual products. Murphy, you want your Kong? There's your Kong. Okay. But I challenge you, service folks like me, it's like, if you're plumber, if you're an electrician, if you have a job where you generally are going to a customer site, or your customer is coming to your site for you to do service, auto repair, oil changes, whatever, there is probably some way for you to still help your audience, whether for free or for cost, electronically. So that could be doing some online sessions. Hey, I can't maybe, get to all of your locations right now, but, if you're having trouble with this in your, I don't know, let's pick something. Okay, so let's say, somebody, normally would come to you to have their windshield wiper fluid changed, or to change the wipers out on their car. You could show them how to do it. And literally you could do that from here, right? You could fire up Facebook Live, YouTube, or just recording, right? Have somebody hold it, put it in a, what am I thinking? Tripod. Or just stack it up on some books, point it at the right angle, and you could point them through the process. Now, that's not going to mean that they're never going to come back to you for that service, because they're coming to you for the service because they don't want to do it, or maybe, they don't feel comfortable doing it, or whatever. But if you step up and you show them ways to do this kind of thing now, right, through the phone, if you do tutorials, if you do little walkthroughs, that's a whole other way that you're helping them, and they will remember that. They will remember you well for that, right? You will get more positive vibes from them, more positive feedback from them by doing this kind of service, making things a little easier for them, and also communicating with them, right? You're not just disappearing and waiting and hoping for when everything goes back to normal. You're being proactive about it, and you're trying to reach out and help. So even the people who maybe don't put those instructions to use, or maybe they don't need those instructions, they're still going to notice. Okay, so here's a case in point, right? Right now, we're all getting flooded with emails, right, from different companies who are coming up with their solutions for things, or coming up with ideas. Even ones that I don't necessarily need, or I'm not going to benefit from what they're offering, it's still registering in my head every time I see somebody who's doing something to help, right? I'm impressed by them. I did not expect that from them. Hey, look, they came up with a really cool idea. So even though maybe it's not going to benefit me today, they're still gaining that goodwill in my brain. And there's no reason why you couldn't do that too, right? Maybe, you don't want to do it, or maybe it doesn't feel right to do it on video. Maybe you could throw on your website, right? We're just talking about the website. Maybe you could throw a little piece on there about how to do something, or share some information you've got, or share some ideas that you've got. Maybe you could, well, so here's another thing. So I was talking to somebody else who is, they sell physical products, but it's usually like, it's very customized and all that kind of stuff. And so we talked about, maybe setting it up as an e-commerce, right? Because they're actually, it just so happens coincidentally that I just got them switched over to Squarespace, which they're loving, by the way. But it's a lot of little pieces, and the pieces are very specific to like the bigger products that they go to. Anyway, it does get a little complicated. Also, it's a lot, and they haven't even started like to photograph and write up descriptions and all that. So they're like, there's no way we can, in a practical fashion, get a fully functional e-commerce piece put together, even though they're paying for that, and like we are putting it together for them long term. So I said, well, first of all, that's fine. Pick the products that are easier to sell online and just do those, which I think they've already started to do. I think they're going to pick like a dozen things to put online to start to do that way. And then we were kind of brainstorming at it, and we came up with the idea. I was like, okay, well, first of all, if you're doing live streams, like you can go to Facebook Live, you can go any place and do it. You literally could fire it up and say, okay, here, we're having a special on these. And if you email us or you call us, we'll sell these, and this is the price, and this is what it's for, this is what it does. And people can ask you questions about it and go back and forth. There are a lot of people that are running their entire business this way, right? I know somebody who has sold collectibles that way. You know who I'm talking about, Stuart. I know somebody who does, it's a card making business. Like they sell the supplies so you can make cards. She does this every week. She does regular events every month, selling products, explaining how to use it, helping people, answering questions. And then when she gets like leftover stock, or if she gets like extra, free samples, she'll do contests online to give them away, or she'll sell them, discounted price online. Literally holding it up. Okay, so again, it's not like you need a NASA setup, right? You literally could do this from your phone. Okay, just don't hold it. Okay, because your arm gets tired. So get a tripod, prop it up on a book or a couple of pillows or whatever, so that you can focus on, and you can do this, which I like to do. And I'm having a crazy Eddie moment here, which is a regional thing. But you can absolutely do this just from your phone. It's a little bit, you're going to have to like look to see the comments, or maybe you want to have a second device to read the comments so you can respond to them, but you can work all that out. But the point is, you can hold up the thing, you can show it to them, right? You can tell them about options and colors. It's like, hey, we sell these, but this comes in 4 different colors, and here are each color. You could absolutely do this. You could do the sales without having to build an e-commerce site, right? You can do those sales this way, and not only will it work for your live audience, but it will work for the people who watch it after the fact. Okay? Have them call you, have them email you, whatever it's going to work. If it's on Facebook, they can Facebook Messenger you, whatever it takes, whatever works best for you, do it that way. Another thing that we talked about, again, this was with the conversation with the guy who, it's sort of a customized kind of a thing. I said, well, take phone orders, right? Tell people, get the word out that, hey, we know you can't come into the shop, but call us. Let us know what you're looking for. We'll, just like you were in the shop, we'll walk you through, okay, what your options are, what the prices are, all that kind of stuff. And I said, personally, I would take that up to the next level, and I would do it as a video call. Maybe they're not comfortable on video. They don't have to be, but you should be. They should see you talking to them. They should see you focusing on you. And you could then, again, while you're talking to them, right, you could hold this up and say, here, this is what I'm talking about, right? Or, this and this, you could swap it through. And again, build that order, right? Write it down. make them feel comfortable about what they're buying, right? Get the payment information, or again, like if you've got, once you've got your website, you could plug in like PayPal or something like that, Amazon payments, whatever, and sell that way. Okay? The live part of it is beneficial because even the people who you are maybe aren't asking questions that you're not, you're answering for, you may still get a phone call from them, right? Because while they may not be saying it in the chat, the person may be asking exactly the question that they were going to ask and get it that way. So that's the benefit of doing it as a live video, which then you leave up there for the other people. But, if it's easier for you and your customers, then just do it by your phone. And you can take the order, you take all the information and get it all done that way. The big point here, the big thing I want you to take away from this is the fact that whatever your line of business is, there is something you can do to stay in touch with your customers, probably to keep helping your customers, right? And maybe even keep selling to your customers. Now, you're not necessarily going to have all those answers tomorrow, but start with what we've been talking about. Start with getting your website if you don't already have one. If you do have one and it hasn't been getting any love, just give it a little update. Make sure that you're on at least one social media and you're using it and you're spreading the word about it. Just start doing live streams. Do a 1-minute live stream if you've never done it before. Just give it a try. Do stories, do Instagram live, do Instagram stories, all those things. And by the way, you can post videos on LinkedIn, even if you can't do live streams on LinkedIn, which most of us can't because we can't get the freaking invite. You can still post a link to a video that you've done. Same thing on Pinterest. Most people don't realize you can post videos on Pinterest now too. So get it out there, get it used. So whether it's a recorded video or live video, get out there, start doing that a little bit at a time. Quick conversation. Hey, I'm going to start doing these. Come by, let your friends know. If you have any questions, reach out. All that kind of stuff. And think about some way to continue to service and help your customers. Whether that's free, free giveaways, all right, like this, like an ebook. By the way, creating an ebook could not be simpler. Just go into whatever editor, word processor you have, whether it's Word or I'm going to forget the name of the free one right now, or Google Docs or whatever. Almost all of them now have a print to PDF, right? Which then you can just email out or you can attach to your website. See how the website keeps coming back up? But you can do this kind of thing to let them know that you're there for them, you're helping them. Do phone sales, phone call sales, do live sales through live streams. All of these things. You just have to reach out. You just have to think about it. All right. I think we're good. I don't see any other questions. So I'm going to leave you with that for now. Do not hesitate to reach out. If there's anything I can do to help you, I absolutely will. You just have to let me know. So it's yourtechcoach.net. There's a contact form. Go for it. If you prefer, if you're a Twitter person, go to Twitter. _techcoach. DM me, just at me, in the tweet, whatever. I'm keeping an eye on all of these things. I'm also, just so you know, I'm doing what I'm calling office hours right now. So I'm jumping on for like an hour, hour and a half, different places. So by the way, keep an eye on my Twitter account. Also, you can join my mailing list. I'm going to start mailing out, letting people know which platform I'm going to be on. Mostly it's been Facebook, YouTube, and Mixer. I'm also going to do Twitch tonight and probably Twitch again tomorrow. So if you're having problems from this standpoint with your business, if you're having problems with, online learning, online teaching, all those kinds of stuff, I'm here. This is what I do. Let me help you. Let's try to remove one piece of stress from your life and make things just that much easier, because sometimes that makes all the difference. All right. Thank you all so much. I hope everybody is okay. Take care. Go get that website started if you haven't. And we will talk again next week, if not sooner. Have a good one. Bye. Thank you.